These guys in the back like the joke this is a long day today. I was like, they asked to come out to speak in church on Monday. So, the oldest Sunday conference is Saturday. And then speaking in Detroit is for multiple different organizations.
This Monday?
The 30th one, the 30th is not this Monday. Oh, it's another week from now. Not this Monday, but the following Monday. Yeah.
At what time?
At 7 p.m. Oh, you got to do Monday. Monday what? At 7 p.m. Maybe somebody can fill in or something. Or whatever. And then the overseer conference is the 20th.
At what time?
The overseer conference is 10 in the morning.
That's what I was supposed to be the third ward, and you come on. And the guy that was in there, he was like, I'll match the $60. So he matched him right there. And I sent it, I gave him the money. I said, I took the money today because I had to leave him to come back from my village. So I took it from today. Sunday the 29th. Because this is the war, right? You know what that is, right? Yeah.
I heard that Yo.
Peace, love, and life.
Peace, love, and life. You hear me? Oh, man, it's been a wonderful weekend. Even though all the tragedies and trials and tribulations we be enduring as people in this community, just even abroad, even all around the world in this country, right? I just think that, it's a time that we say we got to value people. The human race is one race when we talk about it, right? You know what I'm saying? And for us, we need all the people on the front lines that we can keep.
That's right.
It's be unfortunate, when we take we go 0 to 10 or 0 to 60 with each other, but we ain't taking nothing else out like that. So it's crazy. So we want more life, right?
Yes, absolutely. We need more.
We do.
We gotta have it.
It's a must.
We gotta demand it.
We have to.
We gotta go take it.
Mandate.
I'm telling you.
It's a problem for when you see young people 15, 14, 16, 17,
right?
Killing other 15, 16, 17-year-olds. Reckless.
Because you can't work it out with a conversation.
That's and sometimes when we talk about conversations, it's like how we talk to each other.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So in the end, it's like, we had to be more compassionate when we communicate with one another.
We do.
And when we value each other, then we ain't so quick and prone to take each other out. or even talk bad about each other. Even myself, you know what I'm saying? Let me just say this too. Like, I don't never intend to just be talking bad about nobody, because I don't waste my time spending negative energy out here, because there's so much constructive work that we got to do. And when we in a negative vibe and under that negative way of thinking, negative stuff happens.
Absolutely.
So all we be saying is, we got to have nurturing conversations. So, you know, I enjoy talking with y'all because, you know, the conversation always nurturing, and that conversation need to be taken out to the greater community. And so even when you got oppositions, right, it's a way that we can communicate, even though that we ain't on the same side, we got to communicate and say like, hey, listen, we still in this community, we got to coexist.
So with that though, you know, we have to be able to do that as far as like talking, but we also got to be able to receive it, right? Now we have to be able to receive it in a way that's going to be constructive when we get it, right? So when we receive it, we have to make sure that we're mindful that we're not spewing out this bad energy, or, you know, we ready to go be violent. Like, I ain't ready to claw your eyes out when you tell me I'm wrong, right? See, we got to be able to take that accountability. You know, when they give it, we got to be able to take it. And we got to be able to take it on the chin, but also we have to be able to apply it, right? And know that when we wrong, and then redirect it. Because I think that that's the problem, right? We can't take it. You can dish it, but you can't take it. And so then we got to learn how to take it. And then when we learn how to take it, we got to learn how to redirect it, or, you know, do a 180 and turn it around. That way we are able to not only dish it, but we able to receive it. Right. And so, like, a lot of times, like, people that's the problem. Like, we'll say, I can say to you, look, Rich, I really didn't appreciate how you said this, and that, right? I can even say it that nicely. However, you know it's the truth, right? And it hits you right here. And when it hits you right here, then that's when that ego and that pride come in, right? And that ego and that pride gonna make you want to knock my motherfucking head off.
I can give you a prime example of what she just said. It's a Facebook group called Facebook Fat Politic Reboot. Those are classic examples of what she's talking about. Because you can hit them with some knowledge and then hit you with you're a clown. You're a bunch of, man, I ain't say nothing about you like that. But they just goes in because they don't have no intellect.
About to knock your head.
They have people thinking you a thief and everything, and you talk about you giving away part.
Man. But that's how it happens, right? Because it's that ego and that pride. And you be hurt. I'm talking about they be butthurt about it, right? But even if you pull them to the side, because I'm one of the people, like, I pull you to the side, like, Dewan, now you know damn well. You know? And I ain't gonna front you off. I'll pull you to the side. But they still can't take it.
No, I think, you know, those are the things where, you know, people be feeling in a certain type of way. Like, you know, a lot of people don't like to take constructive criticism. A lot of people got very thin skin. I know when you come up in this world that you come in, even coaches and even the situation in this city that we come in, you got to have thick skin, but you got to be able to receive it. Because sometimes some folks might be telling you some good. I know some of the elders may call and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, let me put this on you, right? It's not because they coming from a disrespectful place, they coming from a place of passion and care. So if we really talk with each other like with passion and care, and we say, hey, listen, I'm not trying to down you, I ain't trying to take nothing from you, I'm just trying to pour into you. And maybe, you know, you received it. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes we can give it out like in the wrong way. And sometimes we just need to calm down before we talk to people.
A lot of times.
We have to calm down before we talk to people, and we really got to think about it, and you got to be rational about it. Because, you know, if you fly off the cuff and you say something, and you say it in a manner that is going to, you know, offend somebody, or is disrespectful, you know, that can cause then it's a whole nother ball game then, right? But if you sometimes you just got to take a deep breath, or just stop and think about it. But even if you stop and just think about it before you just fly off, you know, the whole situation could come out totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. And we don't do that.
No,
I learned because I can wholeheartedly admit that I'm a hothead, and I've been a hothead all my life, right? And so now that I'm older, I'm a lot more mellow than I used to be. So like I used to just like I was 0 to 2,000.
Quick.
I didn't have a medium. I didn't have an in between, right? And so you would say something, I'm popping right back. And my grandmother used to say that all the time. Watch her, she got a mouth like an alligator. That was her favorite thing to say because I did, like I did it. But I had to learn that, right? And then you have to learn your own discernment.
Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah, for your own self. And that was one of the things that I had to work on. And I'm yet working. Yet working. I still have to work on that. Because but when you know those things about yourself, you know you do better, right? You know better, you do better. But you know those things about yourself, and so you cognizant of that.
Right.
And when you cognizant of that, it just make you do things different, make you think about things different. Yeah, and so the outcomes of my conversations with people are different. Now, with that being said, I'm still blunt, and that'll never change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna change it because I'm just not one of those people that try to sugarcoat it. I'm gonna always keep it a band with you. However, my delivery is a lot different. That's the thing. My delivery is a lot different. But sometimes you come off and they be like, man, she is wow. What is going on? But that used to be how, because I'm seriously was a hothead.
A passionate hothead.
Man, I'm telling you.
Man. Those be the thing. I think, I think, and that's something that's like that's a behavior that, that we just always kind of have, just being aggressive. We always aggressive with each other. I know the older I get, the more mellow I became. And, I think it's just like now I try to be very communicative and, sometimes even I get frustrated and, you get upset. And that's 0 to 100, and that's just how that is. But I'm always mindful. I'm saying, like, I do, even if I do come off, in a way where it's disrespectful.
Right.
If I noticed that and I felt wrong by it, but then I had to come back and clean it up. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just to be on point because I don't want people to be taking it the wrong way sometimes. And, I want my message to get across. And so, I try to learn those things. And, even with our young people today, I think we see a lot of stuff on TV. We see a lot of these movies. We see a lot of these gangster flicks that we came up on, and we just really, really kind of reciprocated in the community.
I was in the studio today, and I was introducing the rappers to a guy that helps rappers get roles in movies, and their demeanor, their lyrics. I'm like, I want a new direction when it comes to this. I'm looking for, because at that gathering Saturday that we was at, did you notice those little kids walking around, they knew the lyrics better than me and you to those songs that I had to take over the DJ from, because I was like, hold on, but I started putting the clean version on. It was just like I was playing the original version. Because the little kids, these little kids, not 10, 11, 12, I'm talking like 6, 7. Just walking, spitting the lyrics like they on stage. And when we had the one man up, we were talking to a young man, he's now 14. And he said the first time, they said he comes from a different environment. He comes from an environment to where he's shown and he's told that this ain't the way, there's another way. So he had to see his first gun on TV.
See, that's what we have. I think so. We have always kind of got our rap and stuff from what we saw, right, and our environment. So when we talking about environment, that stuff starting at home. We talk about how we have to produce better humans and better adults. That stuff starting at home. We can't just be, disrespecting our children and then expect them to be respectful in the world. Like you crazy if you think that's gonna take place. And I used to be always talking about, even with my children, I try to be speaking a way, that I'll, in a respectful way to them, because when they get in the public, they represent that last name. So you want to make sure that we instilling these values in our young people. And today, I just don't know if that we doing the best job. So we can't even fully just point that at the children or the youth today. It's not even it's all their fault. Like even when I came up in some harsh conditions. You know, it wasn't because, you know, my mother wanted it to be. It was just, you know, the circumstances. So, and I knew how I came up is my environment. My environment was one of, you know, the OGs and, you know, brothers on the streets, and, you know, I stayed next to the dope house, and I think it was just that type of vibe. Me and homies just would walk down the street going to Scott School. There'd be vials and all type of stuff on the ground, like baggies and everything. And that's just the type of stuff that we came up. So when we came teenagers, like preteens, and we didn't have the type of structure that we may needed at the home, you know, we made a structure out there in the streets, and that's kind of like how this thing be happening. So now these children have been doing that for so long. This has been going on for so long. So now we at a point where it's just no respect, no value. You know, we've been just disrespecting our sisters and, you know, disrespecting our parents and, you know, want to be out here doing what we want to do and not giving a crap about nothing or nobody.
And can't
like
nobody
that
tell
type
you
of stuff is why we are looking at our children and the way they're doing and acting today. So it's kind of like a responsibility thing. And I always say, yeah, the community is a body of families, but like when we look at it like individually, they do come up in those homes, and we do got to make sure that we instilling the value in them. And I hope these mothers out these today, right? It's a different mother that we have today, right? Like when we go from what we had back in the day to Big Mama, no big mamas out there. My grandma would never be playing that stuff. We used to be having to hide all the stuff that we was doing from her. Now they just doing all that stuff in the open.
Willful.
They don't even care.
Willful.
Yeah,
Willful too.
that's just showing them the wrong way.
Sometimes in certain situations, customer. Either the grandma is the big man, or the grandma is the customer. And that's real talk.
I know a couple folks smoking weed with grandma. Grandma, listen now.
Man.
Listen, you letting them cuss in front of you. Come on, man. You want to dress them up to be an adult. You got 4-year-old boys looking like teenagers out here. Come on now, we have to go ahead and make this make sense too now.
Right.
You know, we can't just, and I love the youth. You know what I'm saying? That was my heart. And I know it ain't y'all fault, and y'all getting the short end of the stick out here. You don't have a lot of schools to go to. You don't have opportunities. No career opportunities. Nobody in the leadership in this city. The leadership in this city does not provide a vision for the future.
Yeah.
We are so on the back end trying to catch up and being reactive that we not putting nothing in front of us or being proactive.
Right. I think that we still dropping the ball. Some of us that are just, you know, or some of y'all that I consider the OGs. Y'all ain't doing no correcting. They ain't correcting nobody. You know what I'm saying? So you see him, you like, hey, what up, Unc? And you, shit, what up, nephew? And you just talking to him, and what you got on? You got something to smoke? You get what I'm saying? Like, back when we was coming up like that, they would never have done that to us. They'd be like, you better take your little ass home. You ain't supposed to be out here with us.
Even if they was smoking and doing all that stuff, they were doing all that.
Yeah, but they would not let us, like, for instance, like, Big Mom stayed on Dayton, right? And the Blue Store right on Dayton, right? Okay. The Blue Store, right? I didn't know the Blue Store. Is that the one with no windows? The Blue Store ain't even open no more. Right there. The Blue Store. There you go. There you go. The Blue Store, right? Blue Store, bro. You hear me?
Go Dayton now.
Blue Store.
Hey, big shout out to Dayton, man. I love that.
Shout out to Dayton. My people still there. I love y'all.
And big shout out, they got that verses coming up, man.
Yeah.
That Dayton Avenue.
Man, I love, D, I love y'all. Shotgun, I love y'all. Y'all my boys.
Come on now.
Thank y'all for doing this, but
what? Ain't no put.
Big family all day.
All right, pull out that 93, baby. I'm trying to man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be a good look.
But that's gonna be, but look, but they ain't finna lay down though. I ain't the top authority ain't finna lay down. I don't think they're finna lay down. I had to pop it.
They not supposed to.
But
Flex stay over there at the store with that hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Flex, listen, I know y'all got that heat rocking. It's about to be exciting, but it's good to see.
And they both got new material.
It's good to see our brothers coming back on the front line.
I like it.
They both got new material too, so it's gonna be interesting.
What I was saying is that that's the places that, you know, we used to go to or whatever, but they would never let us hang out like that. They never let them hang out like that.
They never let you hang out.
But we don't have them no more. Cause now they trying to get on from the little ones. For real. Man, I done seen it. I'm telling you, I done seen it.
What's up, mate?
So what we gonna do for the kids? So since y'all saying we ain't got none of like we had things, what can we build for the kids? Since Rich, you running for council,
Well,
what would be some things that you would want to build for that we can get a youth something to do?
Come on now.
well, now that I have a bigger platform than I had when all of these ideas was in my mind, because you gotta remember, I've been working with kids ever since I was 19 years old, coaching the 18 on the basketball team. So in reality, I never grew up being there. When I got into mentoring, the people that I was mentoring was my age. I'm still a kid. Like right now, if I go to an adult party, you know how you had an adult party where you put the kids in the back room? Well, I'll go in the back room and get the kids and go outside playing catch, because after like 30 or 40 minutes of dinner with their parents, I'd rather be with the kids. So, you know, but that's the real talk. The more they do whatever they do, the more I don't want to be around.
Those gotta do better. They got Rich going to the kid table. Goodness gracious.
Hold on. They ain't sending me nowhere. Well, let's get this straight. They ain't sending me nowhere.
No, I'm not saying that they sending you, but they making you go. I ain't saying that they sending Rich.
Well, in reality, they is sending me.
The interaction with them is hard.
You're right, they is sending me.
Richard, big dude, that bitch sitting at the kid table is scary.
Oh no, we made our own table.
They don't even got that no more. You remember how they did have the separation of the table?
Listen.
You know what? I could not. My grandma used to have everybody downstairs at the bar, hanging out, drinking, doing all that partying and dancing, but we couldn't even be around that type of stuff. We'd be upstairs in the playroom.
Yup.
My mama. Ain't no kids down here.
So go upstairs.
Man, that's all she got to say. She got everywhere to go.
Man.
I could come out and not even know she had company.
You see anybody
You
here?
barely walking through there. Ain't no kids in here. You like, damn, I'm just walking through. I'm trying to get to my room.
Noise back down here. What's going on, right?
No, they didn't do that.
But it was a separation of respect, and like I think the adults back then, they respected the young people. They didn't want them to be around all that smoke.
These kids know too daggone much now.
Too much.
No, because we growing them up fast like that. We trying to impress them on the world, and then we lose them out there. You know what I'm saying? All our children grow up, they want to get to a certain age, they want to leave the house instead of, staying there and getting those foundational values. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking to another person the other day, man, about that, right? It's best to stay at home as long as you can, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's best to be in a productive household, right? So if I'm able to stay there, live, stack my dollars up, go to school, go to class, you know what I'm saying, get a job, but I'm able to go in and, got a foundation there. Then I can stay there, and when I got my money saved up, I can buy a house, right? That's how you want to be looking at it, but like our children, we want to grow them up and get them out the house.
I can't wait till you grown and up.
Man, this pandemic taught me a whole lot. Some of these parents, they don't care about the numbers, the mass, the cleanliness. They don't care about nothing but get these kids out my house. They just wanted that time of the day that they sell for. Some of them, the stress because they was used to putting the kids to school and going to work. So now all of a sudden the stress that the kids being at home, and then they had to do their work from the house. It was a learning experience. But what I was telling some of, because I still talk to my players, and some of their kids are now becoming young adults.
That's right.
And I'm telling them, this is the best time for you to be a parent. It don't matter what your circumstance is. Do not show your child anything you do not want them to grow into. Starting today. And I always talk to them. And I talk to my older kids that they already got their bad habits right in their kids' eyes. Curb that. And it's the same with the music. Watch the music that you letting your kids listen to.
Now you said it best, like this is like the best time to be like a parent. Like I say, like if you really want to do something for your children now, like with all the schools down, like us as a community, with all our school institutions, public school institutions down, we should have formed and came together and said, you know what, we're gonna do some homeschooling, because not only do we want our children to learn real and be really educated, not just about that systematic education that they get in public schools and learning towards the test, but we really giving them substance, we giving them life skills, we teach them financial literacy, right?
Yep.
We talking basic literacy, and we really giving them a chance. We giving them
how to open a bank account,
how to do things that you're gonna need to do when you grow up. So we should have grabbed hold to this opportunity while we had the opportunity, and say like, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and create our schools. We're gonna create a foundation for our young people to be able to build, learn, but then we're gonna give them the best chance in life.
Yep.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
So, do you think that the music and the lyrics and all of this is that like that's their thing? And the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I was raised by my grandparents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother and grandfather let me listen to whatever I wanted to. Like, so for instance, like my grandmother has like this amazing record collection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she never, and I always played. And so I wasn't the only child, but I was an only child because I was raised by my grandparents, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would go in the basement and I'd be spinning records like all day and night. Like I'd be spinning records and they let me play whatever I wanted to. They let me play it as loud as I wanted to. Never said a word to me. If I asked my granddaddy to take me to the record store, go buy something, he would take me. He didn't care what it was. I'm talking about one day I just was like, I was in one of them vibes and I'm playing. I got DOC playing. I'm telling my age now. I've got DOC playing.
Yeah,
I got 2 Live Crew playing. I'm in my grandparents' house though. But I'm talking about, I'm going crazy. But what I'm saying is they allow me to be able to do that, like express myself. However, I just feel like it's the structure that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily what you listen to, but it's your structure that you have, right?
You kids don't got that.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that was really my question to you, and I was saying that to say that, like, because I was thinking about it as everybody keeps saying that, and they be talking about like we gotta change the lyrics, and y'all can't be doing this, and we gotta have more. And I'm like, damn. I would have never been listening to none of that. Like I'd have been missed out. Like I'm telling you, but I listen to everything, and I still right now listen to everything. Like if I show you my playlist on stuff, you be like, it's all over the place. But that's what they allow me to do, right? Right. And they allow me to express myself that way. However, their structure was their structure, and it still was rules, and it still was this, and still was that. And I think that I don't know if I'm kind of tossed between it. So I'm not really sure if I agree with it. Like, y'all need to stop doing that and changing the lyrics because it's something that I listen to right now, right now. But I think we just need to do better as parents, period. Not necessarily like that. I just think we just need to do better as parents on how we structure our kids or whatever. Because let me tell you something. 2 Live Crew ain't never made me want to go pop on a handstand.
That's good. You know the difference between, that was the difference between ciphering between what's real and what's fake.
Right.
Like, I listen to a lot of stuff coming up too.
Right.
But I think it's like some of these folks take that too far. Like they get
influenced by
because you don't have that structure, you don't have that instruction,
right?
And you don't have that correction.
Come on, you learn how to grow up.
The realness.
Right.
The realness. What they call keeping it real.
Yeah.
Those musicians that you just, Ice Cube and Luke, did you notice that Ice Cube and Public Enemy, even Run DMC, they had a little bit or a lot of knowledge in their rap. And you notice that they use that rap plus the Luke rap to really get rap off radio for a little while, remember? But think about it, look at now, look what rap, they still didn't bring back that conscious rap, but look where that Luke rap then went to. And now when it comes to the females, you went from females listening to Luke to listening to Megan Thee Stallion. Cardi B.
You went from MC Light.
Yeah, MC Light and Queen.
Moni Love.
What did Queen say? Don't call me.
Don't call me a bitch.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was like she was, you know,
But
really kind of
answer this question for me, since y'all on the music. How do y'all feel about movies? What about Boys in the Hood? What about Tony Montana? What about Scott? I mean, what about the movies that they cowboys? Like how they highlight drug selling.
Mm-hmm.
They highlight. I mean, if I just, it's like this. The community now. I mean, not community. The country is over sexualized. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Like drugs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, drinking.
Yeah.
It's like everything that you was probably for.
Mm-hmm.
That you might have did in the dark, you do it in the light now.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's
And
the
you know what? But
difference.
it's the same thing with movies, right? Like it's what you watch, right? So like I love mafia movies, right? I watch Goodfellas all day, Casino, like them type of movies. Like I watch that stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
However, with my grandfather, he called them shoot 'em ups. We watched them all day.
Western.
And they violent as hell.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm just saying,
those
those are the things that I'll still sit and watch them because me, my grandfather, and it just bring back memories of my grandfather. However, but I get what you're saying, but I don't know, like
it is very. I ain't gonna be.
It was very
influential.
But when you watch Cowboys and Indians,
I think it's the concept of what they promote.
yeah,
Because back in the day, rap had substance.
yep.
Now it's bubble gum and bling bling.
That's right.
Now they tricked the society into going into a different direction with the music. They tricked the kids' head into believing that fast money and flash was the way to go.
Speak.
And so by doing so, any means necessary is by the means that they feel necessary. So if that means scamming, robbing, doing whatever it takes, even ladies get on Instagram shaking their body for the bucks. You know that they got the fans on. You know.
Let me ask y'all this question.
That's where we are.
How y'all think now? Because it's kind of amazing. Because I remember when I was growing up, women was like growing up wanting to be nurses and paralegals and lawyers and all that. And now these women want to go and strip.
It's part of
That's what they think.
Systematic trick.
Let me tell y'all women that want to go out there and be on some hot girl Megan Thee Stallion and stuff, man. Let me tell you, man. You know what I'm saying? That stuff look good for the moment. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'll be mesmerized. I'll be tweaking when I see this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm double tapping and all that. I'm going down.
At
the end of the day, though, right? You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, you can't take that to Delilah.
Yeah, I ain't having it. You got the press on ready, and she gonna look at you. She on that type of time, right? Yeah. But the thing is, man, what we need is, we need real companionship, and those hot girls be down for the time.
Yeah.
They be down for the temporary time.
Just for the moment.
And to be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like us brothers, man, that really be one, who really want somebody that they can, see a longevity or a lifetime with. It's definitely not the hot girl, right? Just as well as these women, y'all don't want y'all no hot boy that's you know what I'm saying? Let's be real.
At the end of the day,
we always want to play and think that stuff is hot and cool, but when the brother took it away from you, or you know what I'm saying, we gotta send the RIP balloons up in the air, or you know what I'm saying, throw some JPay down for them. It's like, you know what I'm saying, like you gotta be thinking about these things. And I know women want security, they want longevity, they want somebody that's gonna be there. And same thing for the man. And we don't want to get ourselves memorized by what look good. The old saying go. Everything that glitter ain't gold. Everything that shines ain't right. And that's what I be trying to say. Like at the end of the day, it look good for the time being. But that's all. Give us something strong. Give us some substance.
Well, answer this question, Dwayne. How did we get there? How did we get to the situation where we at now?
We got there by watching all the things that have transpired over the years, man, and we got there from being ready to be down with Fli-City and all these different things. Like it was a time where it was a shift. Like the brother Steve was saying, it was a cultural shift. Like we went from women talking about being queens
in your face.
Don't call me a derogatory name, right? To being all that and some, right? And scamming you out and ain't giving a care about you. All right, now these women will play you like you some sucker out here, right? I'm just being honest. That stuff is happening.
And they put that time on themselves.
Yeah,
they put that time.
They
a beast.
Meg the one, right? I'd rather be a B-I-T-C.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a lot of things when we talk about the world played a big role in influencing us to where we are. We can't reject that because I know even though we may have structures at home and we got good parents and good grandparents that really teach us morals and values and teach us to be good people, but then also you got that world that you find yourself enamored with and you want to go ahead and find that twinkle. You see that light out there. You get out there. It look good. The fast money was always good. When we was coming up hustling in the streets, the fast money was dope. It was a vibe. It was a drain. It was a drive that was about that. Going to go bust a sale, hitting around, going to go pick up stuff from the D.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the time about it. You know what I'm saying? It was just a vibe about it. But when you get hit, you go through the rail. Now you in jail. And you talk about all the stuff that you were doing out on the streets, right? And now you trying to build yourself up in it. Yeah. Real quick. Now you can't even get on the phone, right? You know what I'm saying? But you still trying to hold up this image. Now you in the county trying to hold up this image, and they finna throw you away for 20 years. And you trying to stay strong. When you back your mind, like, hey, this is gonna be 20 years. But you know what I mean? Right. In the pen, it's like, all right, listen, you know what I'm saying? That means that, hey, listen, I must have been doing something strong out here, right? You know what I'm saying? That's how we think like that. And in all actuality, you didn't want to be in the box. And any good hustler didn't want to end up being in jail, right? You know what I'm saying? The ones who was always smooth and that was dope, they had the buildings, they had all the money, had the cars and stuff. They wasn't in jail.
Right.
That's something that these people need to pay attention, like Superfly, for example. Everybody think that they Superfly. It's only one Superfly. Everybody else in that white crew died. It's a lot of people that's in that white crew walking around here thinking that they Superfly, and it can be you. Mm-hmm. It ain't no you always gonna come out on top. It's a 99% chance that you come out on the bottom.
Do y'all think the fact that the granny and the grandfather has gotten younger has something to do with the structure of the grandkids and the way that the children come up?
All of it.
I think it's the like the trickle down effect, right? Mm-hmm. So if the young granny wasn't raised the proper way, then the young granny can't be a granny. I'm a granny 2 times.
That's right.
However, I was raised by my grandparents, and so my morals and my standards are totally different from everybody else. So I think it's a trickle down. You know what I'm saying?
That's the point I was trying to say, because when we say this right here, grannies, don't get it twisted. Teenage mothers just ain't start in 2021 and 2010. It was teenage mothers in the 50s. 60s, 20s, 70s, 20s. Right, but what it was just like you said, the family structure. It was more together.
Yeah. Right.
So you know what I'm saying. So just think about it. They kept them home. You had, like, I call my grandmother mom. I didn't call her grandmama.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it was a family structure. Let's think how we have family reunions. Everybody was getting together. Holiday. Where's that at now? We get together for block parties. We get together to go to the club.
All her sons still stayed with her until she died.
Yep.
And then after she passed away, they separated.
Yeah.
They didn't stay together. Like she was the glue that kept everybody together.
No.
So when she passed away, everybody wanted to go their own separate ways because everybody had their own agenda from the jump.
Absolutely.
But grandma,
but they were only there because of her.
Had the agenda that they had to follow.
Right.
But you gotta remember the respect
Absolutely.
for the granny for all those years stood. Mm-hmm. The respect now for the granny don't hold no weight.
Right.
Because how is she showing respect, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, like it was a difference in like grandmothers of the past where you respected them because of how they laid the foundation down for you, how they took care of you, how they was there for you, and they consoled you, they counseled you, right? And they made sure that you was all right. Nowadays, it's like, I don't think they really had that substance. So
No, because you gotta go drag her off our
No,
roof.
because y'all missing the key point.
what's that?
Grandmama, them was all her kids. When grandmama go and his aunties and uncles, everybody had their own families.
Right.
So it was like, now, auntie over here throwing a dinner, auntie over here throwing her dinner, she was on family. There's nobody where it was passed down where it was still the one who did it. It's like the families broke up when Granny died.
Absolutely.
So it was nobody what auntie was left over that did it. Because remember, Big Mama, she went and helped all her kids, grandkids. Not when the auntie over there, that ain't my kid.
Yeah, no, that's like that village concept we be dealing with today. It's like, you know, when we grew up on a block on Piggery, it's like everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew your family. You know what I'm saying? So if you were doing something, then they can easily just make a call and tell your people, like, listen, man, come get your boy out here, right? And that was how that was. It was a protection. So it's like now the village is like, now it's just like me, myself, and I. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want you even disciplining their child. I ain't saying you got to discipline them, but they don't even want you talking to them, right? You know what I'm saying? Or they don't even want you instilling them.
And they know their child bad.
Or they want to defend the child from when he's doing bad stuff. So it's like, no, we got to change the way that we do stuff.
Right.
Because when I was a kid, I knew all my neighbors. Now that I'm an adult, I don't know but two of my neighbors. Now, how good is that for a neighborhood when nobody wants to know nobody?
Nobody want to know.
Right.
Everybody is so busy doing their thing. Like nowadays, our neighbors don't even talk to each other. I don't even think they know probably more. I get out and mingle. That's how they know me. You need your grass cut out here. You know, just because I know y'all older, you know what I'm saying? Y'all grandkids don't come and do it. Yeah, I come cut y'all grass. I know y'all. But honestly, I don't really know you.
You know what's so crazy about that is that I can't relate to that. I can't relate.
Me neither. I
can't relate because like even in my neighborhood, like in my area, like everybody always been tight. And they still tight, right? And even when people come out and come in, like I grew up on Cypress, and and my grandmother was on Orange Blossom, so I knew all these people, and even the new people that come in, they take our whole. You can't come in and not vibe with us like that. So I can't relate. You get what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, but I just personally can't relate, and I would hate that. Like I know I moved on a new street and I know all my neighbors, right?
But what he's saying is
no, what I'm saying is I get it.
What you're saying is true.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That would devastate me because I've never been in that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? And still right now, even though I'm in like really still in my same hood, but not in my same hood, on a different street or whatever, but I still know people. And then them people came out to make sure that we knew each other, right? Yeah. And it's still so I can't relate. And I was just thinking about what you said. I'm like, dang, that would be devastating to me. I wouldn't like that at all because I never had that. I've never been, I never had to deal with that. And that would be devastating shit for me.
If you didn't have your village around you like that, it's very devastating.
Yeah.
So
like, I grew up.
I ain't never lived in front.
I grew up with that concept.
I'm from Detroit.
I think that's what kind of saved a lot
all the time because my grandparents
a lot of the trouble that I may have been.
So that's where I was at.
Because you have people that care. You got people in your neighborhood that you can look to. Like if I was hungry, I didn't have to go steal from the corner store because I know I can go over to Desmond's house and I can eat because his grandma cooked. Right. It was that type of connection. And you're right. And like when it's a hopelessness that you feel when you're out here by yourself. And that's what a lot of people feel like nowadays.
Yeah, I get that. But it made me, but what I'm saying is that I felt that. Like I was so empathetic to you when you said that, I was like, damn.
I understand what you're saying.
And I was like, oh, I felt for you. I'm like, it's a house next door to me or everybody except you.
I know what you're talking about because my uncle stayed in that neighborhood and everybody from when I was a kid, I would go out there and visit them and still there, the Browns, the Bubs, all of them, they
we all right. Still. That's my street.
Yeah.
That's my street.
It's still there.
Curtis them still right there.
Yeah.
The Brown still right there. She just passed.
They own their properties, right? They was homeowners and they still there, right? You know what I'm saying? You it's a sense of pride when you own your home. That was another thing that took place. Like a lot of us didn't become homeowners, right? So we didn't have no true connection to the neighborhood because, hey, listen, I'm only rich. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, you know what I'm saying, live and do my thing. But when you got folks like Cuz was saying, when people, the Mr. Elders that's been on the block for 40 years and the children grew up in that house. You know all the children in the house, right? And everybody on that block is the same way. It's a different type of respect and value that's over there.
Yeah.
And people, you know, they appreciate each other. And that's where I think we just kind of missing a lot. So it's not just one thing.
That
it's just
come
a
in there and
combination.
tear our stuff up either. We won't, you can't come on that street with that. You couldn't come in there and like move over there, whatever, and do all of that. And you know what I'm saying?
Put
like
mattresses on the street and stuff.
Yeah.
They would be
It's a little bit different now. In some places, it's not as, you know, like everybody's not there no more. Like, so on the street, like you actually name my street. That's my street. That's where I grew up on, right there on Orange Blossom. So the Browns, like we all like family. So their grandma was my grandma. My grandma was their grandma. Scurvy them granny right there. They right there. That they granny, my grandma. The Wilkinson stay right across the street from me. Papa Joe, that was my Papa Joe. You feel me? Like all of them, Curtis and Betty Buck, them was that was like my mom and daddy, right? So we was like these. It wasn't nowhere. Miss Charlene right on the other side of me. Miss Johnson on the when she wasn't, she didn't have her habits on, you know, like some days you could be. She was a whole nother ball game. But anyway, you know, I'm just saying, Miss Burns them across the street and the other Miss Johnson across the street. You know what I'm saying? Like all them houses, everything. And they all still right there. So in Miss Johnson old house, her daughter Siobhan got that house, right? My auntie right here, my mama right there, Miss Burns in the house. Like Miss Wilkinson and Felicia, they still right. Lisa still right there.
Reggie's back
yep,
home.
Lisa right there. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like we still there, but we not there, right?
Bro, still staying on that street.
Huh?
Still to this day. My Uncle James.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's your uncle?
Yeah.
He's something different. That's my guy.
It's definitely been a serious curve that we need to start all over again. I'll never forget that I grew up loving that Whitney Houston song, I believe the children are future. That Rance Allen, I don't know. And that
Rance Allen.
Yeah, that big rap. What tomorrow's gonna bring? Hey, I'm coming up there. I'm talking about. I'm like, man,
for real, we lost him.
The Hawkins.
Well, let me ask Rich a question, man.
Go for it.
Rich, what you feel about that $24 million?
The $24 million.
Yeah.
You mean that 47?
No, 24. You
what 24?
Ain't it $17 million deficit now?
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Now, how you gonna forget you running for council, brother?
Well, because you said $17 million.
Well, it was
I'm saying 41. And the reason why I'm saying 41 because we was at 24.
That's why I said.
Now we had a negative 17. We went from a plus 24. Now we had a negative 17. So I'm saying 41. You did a $41 million turnaround in a couple of years. They voted for it. They voted for it. Point blank. He put the budgets up there and he got 5 votes. Simple as that. The reason why he put it in them categories to break that from a 24 to a 17, he can say what he want to say, but the bottom line is you 41. You did a negative $41 million.
No, negative 17.
No.
So
he started with 24. He had a plus 24. Yeah. So 24 plus 17 is 41. He went down $41 million. He done messed up $41 million.
He on something. You know what I'm saying? So tell us what was those line items? What was the stuff that we spent $41 million? What was it worth? What did we get out of this? See, this is when you have to break down because it makes sense for this city.
That's why I said, how did that
people
happen?
be in leadership and don't even know how to manage their households, but then also try to go ahead and manage the city's finances. And then you doing all these different things and you thinking that you spreading it around, but you really hide money and move it.
Well,
we all know how.
Well, really, what happens when you do stuff like that is what we got going on right now. People running away from being subpoenaed and coming up and talking under oath about exactly what you're saying.
But where did the money go? How did it go?
Have you ever seen the budget?
I ain't getting no new price.
Have you ever seen it?
My grandma didn't
need pipe, got a box of water. What's going on?
But they just said in the 8th Ward that they could drink that Mr. Daly or Brown, the one that with the water Brown, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. He said that they drink water in the 8th Ward.
Yeah, he said he drinks the water.
Well, Mike, you keep getting that water. Listen, I want
so what? He gonna take an Obama sip?
What's going to happen in the future? Some of them people gonna believe him. Now, those people in the 8th Ward, they're in a different category than us when it comes to getting poisoned. So they may take that word from him and flip that on the city of Flint in the future. And it's gonna be different when they reach out and talk about y'all did us wrong, y'all misled us. And then you gotta remember, by the time they situation reach the settlement phase, it's gonna be a new administration.
So listen, Nikki, what was the background to that question you just asked? And I know for our audience show, we got folks, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. So we be having a full-wedge conversation from members on the front end, and then also we got the back end. So Mick, and we got Cuz back here too, Steve. So what was the meaning behind that question that you asked Rich?
The reason was behind it because they got the 47 million that you talking about.
You talking about from the COVID
relief fund, right?
Yeah, that was the first.
That's the first. They still got.
No, I'm saying this is what they got right now. The reason I'm asking that, if we just had a $24 million surplus when we left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we down a negative 17 right now.
How?
Well, some of the things Neely has said, what Mayor Neely has said, he said he paid the bills, but I'm trying to see what bills got paid.
We got receipts.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Now he just said that. What that was? Who's not a bird?
No.
Oh, yesterday.
I'm telling you what he said yesterday.
That's what
he said yesterday.
I want to build one up.
Rich, now was we not there yesterday? No, yesterday he said, because somebody asked him about the white man asked him about that, right? The money. And he asked him about the money. He said, well, go do with this money, right? So he said that he had paid some bills with it. He didn't go into what bills, but he did. He said exactly what Rich said. He said he paid some bills with it. I heard it from myself. I heard it for my own self. That's what he said.
Ask what bills was paid?
Now let me get into that.
Hold on. Answer that question.
No, hold on. Let me tell you why he wouldn't answer it. Mm-hmm. Because this is how the forum goes. So you come in there, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta sit down, and I bring you a piece of paper and say, you live in the 3rd Ward? And you're like, no, I don't live in the 3rd Ward. Oh, well, you can't ask no question. Only people from the 3rd Ward can answer the question. So I'm sitting by as they can't ask nothing, right? So they give you a piece of paper. You got to write your question down on the paper. Then you got to give it to her. And then she got to give it to him. And then he got it. And then he got it. Okay, so April.
April got to give it to Jeff.
Right, April and Jeff. So April passed out the paper. You got to write your question down. You got to give it to April. Then April got to give it to Jeff. Then Jeff got to read it, and then he answer it, right? But you can't have no follow-up question. You can't have no rebuttal. So if he asks the question or he doesn't ask it correctly, you just there. It just is what it is, right? It was no. So I don't. So the round table really wasn't a round table. It was
that's a control conversation.
It was like it was so weird, and I'm just saying, like, it was so weird. So you could, and they announced that, they said it, like, you don't live in the 3rd Ward, you can't ask no questions.
So who was covering this at this event?
So ABC 12 was there. I can't remember the young lady. I don't really watch the news like that, so I can't tell you what her name is. But they were there.
It was probably more media there than people from the 3rd Ward.
Man, it was probably like 7 people in there. Listen, and 5 of us wasn't from the ward. How about that? So you had Rich there. You had AC Dumas was there. Then you had, what his name is, Quincy Murphy was there.
Quincy
Jesus.
I did Quincy.
man.
That's a, I don't even want to talk about that.
That's my boy.
Man,
He tickles me.
Really, you need to stop running around behind that mess. I'm telling you. Man. Listen, the ratings is dropping. You know what I'm saying? NBC, I mean, nobody even want to watch the news because that stuff is crap.
But you know what?
I gotta be real with yourself, man. This stuff is looking silly out here. Y'all being told and being brainwashed, and you just going along because you think that you're getting along. You want to be so bad, you want to be so bad to be at the table, but you're not even at the table. And then you gotta understand who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You can never trust a snake. No, never trust a snake. I could never. And when I say when my spirit won't allow me to stand next to nobody like that, I can't even stand around them, right? Because it's something in me that's gonna just really it's gonna tear something up. And so I just I be trying to be very, we in the community. So I'm about peace and about us. But that type of stuff and those type of spirits and those type of people disrupt my spirit.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling you, anybody who move like that, who around that, who think that you're getting down to get down because he may be throwing you a couple dollars or he may be sweet talking you about supporting you, man, you better know who you're dealing with, right? And stop playing because that could be what lock you out.
And you gotta watch it. And nowadays I don't realize something else, and this is shocking. I hate that I gotta say this, and it's very true. You gotta watch who you support. Mm-hmm. And some of these folks for real, are not worth. It's not worth going to bat for. Believe me, they're not going to go to bat for you.
It's hurtful. It's hurtful to even say that, though, bro.
But it's true. It's bad.
This is the type of picks that we got coming in our city. We got folks that we expect to put in leadership that, to be honest, ain't even respectful folks. I'm just being honest with you. And then you wonder why the young people don't respect y'all. You wonder why these young people acting a fool. Because they ain't looking at y'all. They don't care about what y'all talking about. None of that nonsense y'all on, they do not care about. They not showing up to these meetings. Even the people in them boards ain't showing up. That should tell you everything that you need to know.
Yeah, so with that being said, one second, Rick. So so how many attendees? I'm trying to remember, but it was probably I'm out without the media. I'm gonna say
there was 6 people there.
It was probably about
and 3 of them was sweeping up and cleaning up around and blowing the fan around.
It was probably about 7 to 10 of us. No lie, it was probably about 7 to 10 of us.
I ain't trying to be a negative person,
yes,
right?
It is.
I'm pissed off because this is the type of flow we got going on in this city.
But seriously, it was only. So you think it was probably about like 7 to 10 people?
Yeah, she right on that one. Yeah. But I've been to multiple ones.
2 blow up dolls. Goddamn.
It was already
You want to make me come on, in the first ward, when they came to the first ward, that was the very first one that they did.
I'm sick of that. Man, listen, that $300,000 that you wait for that helicopter, we could have put that air conditioning unit in Burston. This is ridiculous.
Oh man, the city of Flint almost caught a case yesterday. The Richie Rich was in that gym dropping them. He was dropping some threes in there. And I was sweating so hard that I came out of that gym and I could not cool off. Like, real talk.
Oh God, he had to change his shirt. I seen Rich. I said, damn, who poured some water on Rich? Look, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Rich had to change his shirt.
Rich was soaking wet, man.
He was. I'm not even gonna lie. Rich was there. I said, oh my God.
I see Rich 4 hours later wringing out his shirt and so hot. He was still let me say something. You want a real comedy show? You go to that war by war message.
And this war by war, and it's a different show. It's a different show every war. Like the one that I went to tonight featured Allen Green.
Oh, was it?
Yes. Every time you turn around, and Allen Green voted for this, and we're going to use a helicopter for that situation. I'm like,
Alan Grizz ain't even living in the war he representing. So I'm just like baffled how we even moving like this. This is how we
And
move.
then after they made that clear at the last 3 council meetings,
I think he done told on himself.
yeah,
Alan, you got to be
Did
the.
y'all read that last comment from Brenda Boyd?
Hold on, Alan, you got to be the dumbest. Hold on.
There was a wedding over the weekend.
Grizz.
oh, they trying to say.
Wait, there was a wedding over the weekend. The mayor officiated. There was a rooftop reception with fireworks at the end.
I heard he jumped out the helicopter.
That the bride and groom knew nothing about. Did taxpayers pay for that? There was a helicopter above taking pictures.
So
I hope the helicopter
he
was
came
not-
to the wedding in the
Oh,
helicopter.
wow.
Jumped, came down out the helicopter. I heard he had fixed the lights. The lights of the sound.
But you can rent helicopters. You can rent helicopters. Come on now, wait a minute. You can rent helicopters. We gotta give them some benefit of the doubt.
for him today. You heard me? Look at me.
Man, I hope that helicopter was rented, man. I really hope that is not that helicopter you know. Man, they do rent helicopters.
Come on, man. Seriously.
And then some state police got one too. We gotta, well, come on. We cannot automatically say that new helicopter that we just paid for was what he used at that wedding. We cannot assume that. We gotta be positive.
No, I'm just
Positive.
assuming. I'm just having a good time out here.
Well,
because
listen.
if I would take this stuff serious, I would be frustrated. As a taxpaying citizen,
That's
I would be frustrated with this type of crap that's going on around me. And I am. I'm like over that. Right? So it's just coming out in different ways. So excuse me, excuse everybody who watching this, right? You know what I mean? But I am tired and sick of people playing games with these people in this city. And you should be tired too. And unfortunately, nobody cares. So if you don't care, then why should I care? Why should we care? Why? Why get out here and do something about it, say something about it, speak on it, when ain't nobody and ain't enough people out there talking about it? Or ain't nothing being done about it. Just doing whatever they want to do anyway.
A lot more people got to get fed up.
Well, and
And
that's
enough
one of
of
the
us
things.
is not fed up. And we're gonna
Brenda, I'm laughing. Let me respond to Brenda.
talk about what's going on.
Brenda, I'm laughing because I'm trying to hide from crying. I am hurt, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm being serious right now. I'm hurt.
Come on.
And I'm not even playing.
Mhm.
Like I'm frustrated and I've been frustrated. We sitting up here talking about a water crisis that's been 7 years in. We sitting up here still crying about clean water, right? We still looking at our public education and our students going to all these outer counties. We ain't even got nothing here in Flint. There is no vision for this city as it relates to economic development. Downtown look good, but the neighborhoods is ravished. And you want us to be serious and be cool with this. I ain't cool with it. And I'm pissed off. And so if I don't sit up here and just be like, okay, well, cool. Or just go fly to Africa somewhere because this stuff is nonsense that's going on right here. This is really ridiculous.
Mhm.
And you deserve more. I'm talking about you. You deserve more. Everybody deserves
You are a
more.
resident of Flint. You
Stop
deserve
being
more.
played with like some toy. So yeah, it may sound like I'm, laughing about this stuff,
But this is
but I'm just hurt to the heart.
So with that being said and everything else that was said down there at the meeting, whatever you wanted to call it, some of the things that just stuck out to me, I just feel like it made me want to just go to more of them, not like in support of him, but just to hear some of the stuff that's being said or whatever, because I'm gonna tell you, it was like some things that really stuck out to me, and it's like I hate when people like to use a whole bunch of big words to people.
It's fluff conversation.
Yeah. However, but the fluff is, I'm gonna tell you, I can't even. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. No. I'm gonna tell you.
Not even that one.
Definitely not that. No, I'm about to tell you.
Man.
So I can't even tell you exactly what he was talking about because it was just like kind of going in one area or out the other. You know how people just get to talking, and you just don't. You like whatever. But when he said acquiesce, I perked up.
He said what?
Acquiesce.
At what?
Acquiesce. So when he said that, I perked up because that means accepting something reluctantly, right? So I know what that means. I know a lot of people don't know what that means. But he was talking about, you know, like somebody asked something about like ordinances, the new ordinances and what he put out or whatever. And he was saying that some of the stuff was put in prior to him. And he said they had to, you know, and then, you know, they had to acquiesce it. And I was like, accept it reluctantly. That's what that means, right? And so I'm like, why would you accept it reluctantly? Why is that? So don't put a pretty word on it, a word on it to make it pretty. But that's my point. But my point is that we not listening for real, right? And then we don't really know what these words mean for real, because when he said that, I know what that means. And so I'm like, why are we accepting it reluctantly? But here's the thing. So they asked, so with that piggyback, this is when I started listening. They asked, well, what are we doing about the violence? What are we gonna do? We're like, what are we having? And he said, you gotta listen to people. He said, go on Flint.org and look at the state of emergency, right? And the 7 executive orders. And then they also asked the T Green, what is he, the chief? The chief. They asked the chief what he was doing. He said, we doing warrant sweeps. We're doing warrant sweeps, speed traps, and working with new technology. We all in the long term, he wanted to open up mini stations and maintain them. And then last but not least, and he said the long word, he wanted to bridge the gap between police and community. Am I not right? Is that not exactly what he said? But this so my thing was, I'm like, warrant sweeps.
I know T trying to do the best he can.
I'm not saying that.
I'm gonna come down the truth on this. I know he trying to do the best he can, and he in a crunch.
He is.
You know what I'm saying? I look him in his eye and see him in a crunch. He want to bridge this gap, but I think he's getting some resistance, and then he trying to play a part, right? But this is what we talking about. Right?
That's keeping it
we don't need more police. We don't need more helicopters running around here. We need to really be able to cultivate better relationships, but we have to be real genuine with each other.
Absolutely.
We have to sit down at the table and say, hey, listen, man, this is where we've been wrong. This is where we can go ahead and right things. We got to really say, we're going to do this like this for real. We're not going to sit up here and do the fluff talk.
Right.
We're not going to make it look like we're doing something. We got dollars in the city, right? Even with the emergency order, you know, that opens it up for resources, right? So I see where you're going with that, Sheldon. But then also with those resources, you got to make sure that you're going to the right people with those resources. Now we run around just putting letters on shirts and just popping up over the place and thinking that we doing something. You're going to sit up there and waste all that money and have even higher crime, right? You know what I'm saying? Because people see that as like just a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound. So we got to really be on the ground. We got to really be working with everybody. And we really got to make this make sense for the Flint community. The young people don't respect. This is what we're saying. Like me, as I'm a young person, right? You know, folks in leadership right now, I don't respect y'all. You know, you know I don't respect y'all. Though. You know what I'm saying? This is plain as that. But the thing is, I will respect you if you gave me something to respect you for. Right? It ain't no reason. It's a reason why the young boys be around us and young folks be moving around, because we ain't trying to placate them. We ain't trying to just make it sound good and play the violin for them, right? These kids is dying out here. Like, we losing people every day. And we talking about season 5 for 24 hours.
Right.
No, we need to be looking at, okay, how do we end violence for the duration of our time here? How do we keep people in their houses? How do we make sure that we have a vision for what's next, these generations that's coming up after us? Because that's our job. That's our role. We are not here to be saying, oh, we are baby boomers and the folks before us held on for so long, so we trying to get our pie and eat it too, and all this other jazz. But no, because when you got folks like us, the millennials out here hungry and starving and we looking at y'all and saying like, it's going to happen one way or another. And I'd rather be respectful with it and say, all right, well, let's be some continuity in this and let's work together. Let's go ahead and pass this thing on. Let's support. I'm here. Now we right here. We the bridge. But if you ain't looking at it like that, you know what's going to happen. After a while, them wolves get hungry. And that stuff happens.
So with that being said, that was another question that was being posed, like, what are you going to do for the youth or whatever. And so he said that he wanted to add additional resources, right? Youth intervention, youth enrichment, and enforcement. And he said he had $10 million request. $10 million request
$10 million request for what?
to get more.
I'm gonna, if he get $10 million.
He said he put it on the governor's desk.
Just like I got to
send that, what you sent to the governor, send that to
He said he put it on, he said that, and $1 million, so, this is what I was getting.
Sure, let me see, send that document to my email, let me review that, let the community review that.
And then $1 million was requested for a witness protection program, because he was talking about people snitching and not telling. And so he's requested, did he not say that?
Can I please interfere? Please, let me interfere. Did y'all listen to the city council meeting last night?
Oh, wait, listen, wait. With that being said, he said the $1 million for a witness protection program, so people would, the whole stop snitching thing, he wants to, hold on. And then he also said that he would match it dollar for dollar. Didn't he say that? Match it dollar for dollar.
Let me throw a whole lot of salt on that wound. Did y'all listen to the city council meeting last night?
I did not.
Eric May said it's over 8,000 cases that need investigated where they got witnesses and they ain't got nobody to go talk to them.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What is you get you some investigators? Start solving these crimes.
Okay, that's a solution.
Build up you a reputation of, if you do something wrong, we coming to get you. Not build up you a reputation. We'll keep on having shoot-offs until you end up on the wrong side of the gun. And that's just real talk.
No, so the thing is, what we have to go in and do, I can see us getting the resources, right? I can see us doing that, like, and us being visionary about the future, because you know what, we are trying to build this city up, and so we do need the resources. So that's a good thing.
We don't have the personnel to implement anything that he has said. We don't even have the personnel to put on the cameras on the jacket. They gonna have more cameras with jacket with cameras on it than they gonna have police to walk the streets in. I mean, real talk. He's making all this talk. Who's gonna man these mini stations? You don't have a police force right now, and you doing all of this patrolling.
So he
who's gonna do it?
Hey, I don't know. Let me ask you.
He said, what's finna happen? He's finna do like this, and the state is finna take over our city.
Now listen, let me speak to the young boys now, the young brothers that's out there in the streets, right? Listen, one thing for sure, we don't want a whole bunch of police and helicopters and federal agents all around here, because we can't get it under control. So we need y'all to be on point. We need y'all to stop all that nonsense. Y'all got to stop all that nonsense, right? Because that's going to bring more problems to a city that's already driven down and beat down and needing life support. So let's go ahead and be real about that.
Because it made me feel like this, because after he said that, he was just like, you know what they're doing in Chicago, like the National Guard coming in and this and that. And so it just made you feel like that's where he wanted to go. He had no choice but to go. He don't have the force. He do not have the personnel to implement any of those law enforcement things. I'm just reporting out what was said.
You should advocate those resources to find the people.
Yeah,
up the ante. He got room to hire police officers, but they're not buying in. He needs to up the ante to make him want to become a Flint police officer.
Hey,
you gotta pay them people.
You gotta pay them.
You gotta pay them people. And that's true. We want to make sure that we have, we want to have a nice strong force.
We don't have enough money.
We're not moving our money the right way.
We don't have enough money in the families, honestly, to even curb the violence, because they making it look so easy, like crime pays. And everybody looking at it, it's so easy to do the wrong thing to get $1, but ain't nobody. We can't make the money because it ain't no industry here no more.
But this is the thing, right? You know what I'm saying? When I say, like, we need a plan of action, we do need a vision. We do need to make it make sense, right? We do need to create opportunities out here, right? I want to I see when folks saying that that this is planned. No, when folks saying this is, no, folks on here talking about playing elementary stuff. No, this ain't that, right? What we laughing at is these objectives that going on.
Yeah. We're trying to make light of a dark situation.
You got to be honest.
We're trying to make light of a dark situation.
What real impact is being made out there? What have you done? And so what are we looking at and how are we moving? That's what we be saying. And like, we not all at the table looking at, okay, how can we be strategic and moving forward and not having these little feelings towards one another and thinking that we trying to move forward. The reason why I be taking shots at Sheldon and all that stuff, because I expect him to work hard. Cause you the mayor of the city. You supposed to be out there not taking photo ops and doing all that, but really working on these plans and these strategies, not campaigning. Because there's a lot of folks still campaigning. Election was already over a long time ago. You seeing that at all levels. People just running around taking photo ops, just doing all this old nonsense just to get in position for another year or two. We don't need that. If we ain't see you come to the table and say, hey, this is what I've done. I ain't talking about what I'm trying to do or what I put on the governor's desk or what I would like to do. All that my uncles used to tell me all the time. All that woulda, coulda, shoulda talk, man. Listen, don't come at me with that. Tell me what you did.
What you're doing.
What you doing. Nobody wants to hear what I'm trying to do.
Well, see, that's my thing. I don't like that. Like, don't talk me to death. I say that all the time. Don't talk me to death. I need to see the action, and that's the thing that I be saying to people when they come on here or whatever. Like, I know I done challenged you a few times and say the same thing. Because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do.
And
you want to have to take tough skin.
It ain't, for me, it's not even tough skin. It's recepting and being aware of reality. As far as what's going on in my mind is just because it's a law, don't mean that it's right. We got a lot of laws that are wrong as ever, and they need to be changed. And the main one is these gun laws. The reason why we could not enact all of this bang bang cowboy movie, we ain't have nothing but sticks to go outside and shoot each other with. These people can interact all of the scenes that they see in these movies because, matter of fact, their guns are more powerful than what they have in the movie. And it's available and it's shown.
Well, hold on. I got a question for all three.
What's up?
Might be a little rough, right?
What's going on?
How do you feel about the people that's just not people? How you feel about the mayor? Because he's running for next year, right? So in campaign mode.
In campaign mode,
okay. That people just running around. I mean, he having people to come around because he's trying to.
I'm glad you said that, man. For those folks who understand, you running around because you understand this campaign season, even though that we shouldn't be campaigning, right? But you running around trying to get close to something just because you feel that you might get something out of it. You're gonna look silly in the end.
Because they call those
ambulance chases, however you want to call it, whatever.
No, I'm talking about the ones that jump in the bed with them just for that, what they call them, bootlickers.
Bootlicker, how you want to call it. However, look what happened with Maurice Davis.
Come on with it.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Maurice Davis, you messed that up. You messed that up yourself. You shot your own self in the foot. And I know we talked afterwards and you apologized for what you did. However, but the fact of the matter is you still cut and you still made a wound. And so that's going to be ever itched in everybody's mind here in this community.
So with that being said.
So everybody else who want to feel like they got to get close till they feel who is right or who's giving them some money, right? You need to stand strong on principles and morals. I wouldn't care about who funded me, who trying to make me sell out, right? You know what? Them offers came a long time ago, right? That's probably why I ain't got nothing. It's the thing about standing strong on principles and morals and values. And about something. And saying I'm not gonna compromise just because you're in a position.
You hit it right there. You damn right. He said he's hiring people under the table to campaign for him. That's what I was getting ready to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yep. Woo. Sure. Yes.
Listen. All you folks is running for office right now. Be right. You know what I'm saying? If you really are looking to work on the constituents' behalf, people will see that. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to have all 1,000 signs out here in the community. You don't gotta do that. If you're really about yourself, your work will speak for itself. They will look at the track record that you have left
Right.
Not some stuff that you just been trying to do for the past year.
If your track record can't be seen. Because in my situation, I feel like I'm super duper quadruple blackball, but it don't matter. I'm still shouting. I'm still screaming. I'm matter of fact, I'm gonna have people down there. I just got a tape right now where a guy said he got 2 tents for me. I'm finna put some tents downtown from 4 to 8 this morning, and I've been did my research. I've been had my categories together. I'm ready. We finna try to and this is what I want to continue to do, because these elected officials, they feel that they are elected to tell us what to do. They do not feel that they are elected to do what we want them to do.
Let me get that right there. Right? What's up, man? Good.
Not to tell them back, you didn't want to put the sign on the juice.
Oh, you right. They ain't giving no sponsorship.
Yeah.
Please support the show. You know what we do is we just want to be a platform, want to be a voice, we want to make sure we have real conversation. So I know sometimes things get heated, and sometimes we just want to say what we feel. It's not acting off emotion, but it's really like saying like in a way it's very passionate, but it's very strategic, right? Mm-hmm. So, we really appreciate the folks that do be supporting the broadcast, who really watch it, who comment. We read the comments, we talking about it, we looking at it, we seeing what y'all saying, we seeing how we can support, and we want to answer your questions. But, at the same time, too, we still need to be, supported to keep these platforms going. So you can always donate, you can always contribute to Fli-City Blackout. We can put the information on the screen. We really do appreciate all the support and efforts that come across the table, and we always appreciate everybody who comes down to the table.
You just gave me a good idea.
What's that?
I'm thinking about throwing a Fli-City Fli-City Blackout. Or what's your favorite color? Blue Party.
Come on now.
That's going to do it. I'm finna go holler at L Dub when I get up out of here now.
We love that you support us. We appreciate you so much.
Let's do it. That's the Blue Party.
Everybody who be listening, we really do appreciate all the calls we be getting even after the show. We appreciate all that, right? Because we really care. I come up in this city. We all come up in this city. We want to see better. Our thing is leaving it better than how we found it. And I hope that we all are trying to do that and we committed to it. But it's a passion behind this. And somebody got to have some passion behind it. Somebody got to be willing to say, we ain't going about this the right way. Yep. Somebody got to be willing to step out and be unpopular, right? Somebody got to be willing to stand in the way and take the hits, right? You know what I mean? That's why we talking about that tough skin. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not even about, being complacent and standing on the side and watching this stuff go on. That's like watching 2 females fight in the street and you record it. Like some silly stuff. Right. You're ridiculous for doing it. If you don't step in the way and say, listen, let's talk about this. Where the conflict is, right? What happened? Let's get down to the meat of this, right? Let's see how we can fix things. And until we get into that mindset, until we really start moving like that, we're going to sit up here and be looking at the same things, and we're going to still be frustrated. We're going to get the same thing. So
I just want to address this one thing. Chris, we do not need the feds to come in and help do shit.
Who said the feds?
Chris Callop.
We do not need the feds to come in and do shit.
Yeah,
period.
We already
don't
had
need
that. We didn't have that type
what
of
do we
vibe.
need
We
that
don't want
for?
that type
We
of
don't
stuff,
want
energy
that.
over here. That's
so
why
you know what? That type of stuff, let me just say this. That type of stuff make it worse. I don't want to see that. Right. Nobody want to see that. Just as much as we don't want to see the crime and the rest of this stuff, but that's not doing nothing but make it worse, right? Damn, we don't need that. We need a better solution than that. The solution is always to bring some suckers in here to run our shit. Come on, man. No, hold on. That shit pisses me off.
That's like bringing an emergency manager.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why we want to bring some suckers in here to run our shit and run us up out of here? Listen, we got enough going on. We got enough people running out from this sucker shit that's going on anyway. Listen, what do we do for?
Let me say this.
How about you do this? Why don't you come and help us? Why don't you come and stand out there? Why don't you get a shirt and come out here? You be the Fed. Damn that Fed shit. That's so stupid.
Yeah, we don't want to. The thing is, when I say always doing for us, like this is us. This is us problem. We got to go in and.
You want them distractors, ain't you? Want them see-through people.
I don't know who.
Flip politics.
I That's one of them see-through characters I'm talking about.
Listen.
It's clear as day what they trying to do.
Listen, we have to really learn. This should teach. This should teach us something. If you can't control your own flow, like if you can't control your own resources in your own community, like owning the shops in your own community.
Right.
Thank you.
If you can't operate the schools in your own community, right? If you can't bring business to your own community,
right?
You gotta look at what are you doing for your own community. You got other ethnic groups that always doing for self. You got the Asians, you got the Mexicans, you got the whites,
right?
You got all these different people. You got all these people working in their own communities, working, building, owning shops.
You trying to change the subject.
Hold on. Running their own local government,
right?
Doing what's necessary so they can go ahead and make sure their children are educated, making sure that when they get out in the world, they're competitive, right? Because what we doing here for our youth in Flint, we are not setting them up for the future. You're not giving them a competitive edge. You're not educating them. You're not giving them the necessary tools to be successful. But we want to run around here acting like we doing something, like we are something. No, the strength of a nation is in its youth.
That's right.
And then we ain't even really looking at what we looking or how we installing those values or how we investing into the future. Then we are really cutting ourselves off right now where we are. It ain't gonna be no Flint. When we talk about receivership, we all understand being under the emergency. We all know what that felt like. We all know what that felt like having the feds being in our community. Yeah. Right? We all know that, right? The state police is here, right? Is that the type of environment that you want to have?
No, that shit.
You don't have to live like that. You don't have to have your community a representation of that. Like we can be a robust community if we want. We can be something special. We could have turned this negative situation into a positive.
Right.
They throwing all these dollars to us. And we're still asking like, what we gonna do with this money? Like we never operated money before. Right. We ain't never had that. We never had that mindset of saying like, okay, now it's economic. We want to look at this from an economic standpoint. Right. How is this costing us? Like when we spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to do something for a 30-month span or 3 months or whatever, we could have really looked at what impact did that make, right? If I gotta get more body cams and more police, and I gotta get federal agents and all this stuff, that's $1. There's a dollar amount to that, right? I could have activated that in the neighborhood. I could have, put shops in the neighborhood, put training centers in the area where folks is going there. Now you get these young folks the opportunity to do something with their lives when they can go ahead and get training in skill trades. They get training or support and seed money in entrepreneurship. And when they're doing something, they ain't thinking about committing crimes. I know when I'm sitting up there, got a career, I ain't thinking about going and doing no crime. Right. Because I got babies to take care of. I got, other situations to take care of. And people that depend on the situation that you're doing. So you ain't got time to be sitting in no box. You ain't got time to be jeopardizing nothing.
And with all of this money that's going around and all of this money talk, because that's all it is, right? It's money talk. All of this money talk. Nobody is still, and they talking about all of these things, but nobody is saying anything about, I ain't heard nobody say anything about putting no money into these schools that they closing or any programs in these schools. This is a problem for me because y'all talking about all of this
But they
stuff.
love the students though.
But they love, that's what they say, but nobody is talking about that. So it's just crime this, crime that, crime that. Don't you know that if you can put some of those programs into them schools and stuff, that shit, some of that is seized. They don't have nothing. They don't have any skills. They don't have any life skills. They don't have any social skills. They don't have any skills at all. And we need that. Why don't you open the damn skill center up with some of that money? Open it back up. These kids can't tie a tie. They can't button up. They can't sew on a button if it pop off. Like this is just some crazy stuff that's happening. We not teaching them no life skills. They can't even write in cursive because y'all took that shit out of schools. That's stupid. They can't tell time on a watch with hands because they took that out because they didn't want to offend somebody. So now they all digital, right? They don't have, when you go to the kindergartners and they used to have the alphabet on there. They don't have none of that on there. What? They don't even teach you how to count money no more. What? That's insane.
So
that's stupid
to do that.
Now I'm gonna tell you this.
In those schools that you're talking about.
I worked in the bank. I was a manager at a bank. Do you know how disheartening it was? I worked in downtown Grand Blanc. Now, two things. I'm black. I'm a woman. I'm in a leadership role, right? A lot of people don't think that should be a thing. But here's the thing that was disheartening for me is that these black people that coming in, my people coming in there and having no idea what to do once they sit in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they go in there and we talking these things and I'm talking to them and I'm like, hey, you need this, this, and this to open your account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them don't know how to sign. They not understanding what these is because we're not teaching that. They don't even know the difference between a checking and a savings account. They don't know what's going to happen if, well, do I need the checks? Why do I need a check? People still write checks. Here's the thing. Some people only require a check for when you have to do certain things, right? They don't know the difference between a money order, a cashier's check. They don't know what it takes to save and what a down payment is and all of these things that we should be teaching, right? And then what's even more disheartening is that they can't even fill out a slip to get their own money out the damn account.
But who took
So
all
now
the
I gotta-
programs off the school?
Who took the programs out? Why they closing the schools? I'm just saying, it's so many things that need to be taught that if you're not gonna teach it in the school, in the actual school, then open up the skill center so they can have those skills. It's disheartening when I go in there and then I tell them like, okay, you opening this account, right? And you putting this money in there.
Right.
You need the beneficiary.
Hmm?
You need a beneficiary.
Like, what is that? Who is that?
But not even only that. I'm telling you, you need a beneficiary.
I can't trust nobody.
If you die and this money go down there, you wonder, well, I want this money to go to my mama, right? Well, your mama can't get it if you don't put her as a beneficiary, but you think it because you're not thinking about it. And I'm saying, hey, it's gonna go to probate. If you don't put a beneficiary, what's a probate?
Right.
A probate is your money gonna be locked up for a long time till the judge decide that somebody can have it. Why you want that?
They gonna eat it up.
They ain't gonna eat it up. It'll sit there, and it'll sit there forever.
We don't
you'll
even
never
think,
be
we don't
able to
even
get
think,
it.
We don't even think
Ever.
about how we establish new money.
Ever.
Like even when we talk about, a lot of us is passing away. I'm just gonna keep it real. Right? We ain't putting no wheels in play. We got babies out here. We ain't setting up. We ain't leaving them nothing. We ain't setting them in and putting them in position, right? To be stronger than what we are now.
Right.
I know every one of us should be looking at how we doing life insurance. So when it's time for our babies to come into play, or when it's time for me to go, hey, listen, you come into some new money.
Good.
You ain't got to worry about the expenses of burying me because I'm gonna make sure it ain't none, right? And that's the thing of saying, like, man, you gotta be looking at this from an educational and economic standpoint.
Absolutely.
Forget all that, hoping and reaching, going to the church and thinking that's gonna play out.
Setting up a
that stuff ain't
GoFundMe.
happening though, man. And that's what we're saying. Like for us, we be having our priorities, not in the right place. If we really want to look, not the right place for us to be.
Break it down for the number wise. Like people just don't know. Life insurance could be only $15 a month.
Life insurance be only like $20 a month.
If that.
And you can get you a nice $100,000 policy, right? To cover your babies. That's a nice piece of change.
Listen.
But at the same time, though, you still looking at it from a point of, I'm not leaving no debt behind. It should be all pros. My son and daughter, it's all pros coming in, right? And that's from the assets, from the houses, from the cars, whatever, right? You want to be able to have that stuff in place. And you have to educate them on how to utilize it, how to operate, how to function. They should know, literacy. They should know financial literacy.
Yeah.
And that stuff not even being taught in school. But they don't even have schools or training centers to even learn that here.
But
right?
you also.
But we want to ship them out on buses
Right.
out there to Grand Blanc, Flushing, and Davidson. All this stuff. That ain't even a reflection of their community.
Right. Teachers don't look like
the teachers don't look at them. They ain't getting none of their culture out there neither. Now you really done lost them. You done handed your babies over.
And the only time they want you have somebody that look like you is when they recruiting a coach to come out there.
Right. Oh, they want your kid for the sports part.
Yeah.
They only want your boy.
Let me tell you
how fast he can run a 3.5.
Listen, this the honest to God truth. This the honest to God truth. My son was playing football. Football. He had every school on every side of the state coming to him. Do you know that the coach and some of the teachers from way out in North Branch was coming and said, I just want him to go there. I'm like, I'm not. The coach from New Lothrop told me, he said, New Lothrop, where the hell in New Lothrop told me, he said, I'll come get him and make sure he get to school every day if he can come play football for us.
That's it. Not about the education, not about putting them on a fast track to being successful, right? Because they only need them for a specific purpose. And we're gonna send them there because that's the only option we got.
And that's what I said, my son ain't for sale.
Life insurance.
But that's what I told him, my son not for sale.
The son is not for sale.
He's not for sale.
And that's how we should be looking at our children not for sale. We need to find a way to really get our students back here in Flint. Let's get that student population back strong here in Flint. Get those dollars for each student, right? Well past count day. Now you know the game, right? Yep. Don't send them back over here in Flint at the count day when you didn't got the money for the child. Let's make sure that we bring our students back here. Let's give them some type of opportunity where they got centers and they can build in the city that they come from, in Flint. Let's start looking at how we develop Flint. Let's look at how we talk about building a base here in Flint, right? And we was known for a number of different things. Even when the community schools was going on, right? That was a model thing, right? They said that was around here. But then when they start shipping those students from different schools to those other schools, it really kind of took away all our history. Mm-hmm. You know, when I came up in Flint Central, we were so proud of Flint Central. Mm-hmm. We were so proud to be a Flint Central Indian. It was just a certain pride that we had from going to Whittier, going to Central, going to Scott, going to schools that from in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You know how proud that is? That see an open school in your neighborhood that's fully functioning and even got after school activities. So we just not hanging out at the corner store. We not hanging out at the gas station. No, we at school and we learning, whether that's learning how to tie a tie or how we can go ahead and really knit our pants, right? Some small basic skills, right? Welding, right? Yeah. If it wasn't for welding, like when I first was coming out, if I didn't have welding, then learned that skill trade, I'll probably be, back out there in the street somewhere.
Let me say this about welding.
But the thing is, we have to go ahead and say, we want to make sure that we have a plan, and that depends on the people. Sometimes it's not about the leadership. I know we need the resources to make this happen, but if we have a plan, we create a plan of action, we start very small, we work that plan, we get some small wins along the way, and we continue to build and know that this is going to be a time thing. It's going to take time to make this happen. Right. But I do believe in the city of Flint. I do believe in the people here. And this is on a serious note. And I know we had a good conversation, just having conversation, but really though, I really care. And I really want the best for us and everybody in the city. Absolutely. Even our blacks, the whites, everybody, the Hispanics, all of it. I really would like to see the best. So always remember that. But sometimes we got to go through this tug of war until we get it right.
Right. So let me touch on that welding.
Closing. Y'all got some closing shots.
I just want to say this about welding though, because I want to say this about about these skilled trades, right? And welding. So welders get paid a lot of money.
Welders get a lot of money. And it's a trade, and it's a good trade.
But here's the thing about welding though. Do you know that if you are a left-handed welder, you get paid way, way, way more money than right-handed? I'm telling you. So I know this from business I'm in. Left-handers get paid way more money as a welder because
I'm on my way to welding.
Well, I'm telling you what I know for sure.
I'm going back.
So that, or if you can use both hands, because the problem is that when they have something that is specifically on this side, right? On that left-hand side, and the right-handed welders can't get it, and you can't do it from this end, and you need a left-handed, I'm telling you, and they get paid way more money than that. You get paid way more money for some things than that.
That's deep.
I'm telling you, it's so many things. And then we also need to in the
Rich, get off your phone.
Same thing about life insurance. And he was talking about life insurance. There's differences in life insurance. There's term life insurance and whole life insurance. And you gotta know the difference.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You gotta know the difference.
Right, yeah.
And if we don't teach that, you can have the wrong stuff. Or you can have something that you could be borrowing from.
Term is where you want to go for, right?
You can be borrowing from it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Once you put so much
Get
money
in, you can be 401k, start learning how to invest. Like my young people, my young people. I want to give a shout out to the young people because I got some young people that really investing. Like they really working them stocks, and I see them really learning it. They really doing very well. They making some money out of it. They utilizing it, but they understanding that skill. I love that. I love to see that in y'all young folks. I love to see y'all on that Robin Hood, that Weeble. I love to get that energy in you. Go ahead and start investing for the future. You got to understand how to use your money, how to operate. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop overspending. Let's stop trying to be overdoing it, right? And start looking at how you setting yourself up. So I really appreciate, that fact about it. And we really want to really kind of encourage more of, how we can get investments going. Because like we said, life insurance is a term of investment, right? Whether you're doing stocks and bonds, it's a term of investment, right?
That's right.
You want to go ahead and start letting your money work for you. I know everybody is getting money like crazy right now, whether you're doing whatever you're doing. And I ain't stepping on nobody out there how you getting your ends or whatever, right? Just be constructive, right? Make sure you're making it make sense because, we need you. But make that money work for you. Right?
Right. Absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? I think this was a
very
explosive conversation. It was on point, right? Big shout out to everybody who was commenting on there and talking. I want to give a big shout out to Bada, right? Big shout out to Philip L. Big shout out to Rich Jones. Big shout out to Shadi Shar. Big shout out to Brenda Boyd. Big shout out to Tracy Jones. Big shout out to Brother D. Big shout out to Chris. Big shout out to Don Pfeiffer. Big shout out to everybody who's just on here, just kind of like, really kind of looking at how they can add something to the conversation. So
absolutely.
I respect that. We appreciate y'all. Never look at this as a demeaning conversation, even share it. Like, you want to send the information that you sent to the governor's office, I'll look over and check it out. And if you need some, I'll edit it for you and make it make sense.
And the invitation is still open for you to come here and talk to us.
Come on through, Sheldon. You can definitely come on through, man. We want to sit down and put you in a hot seat and see where that 41 negative million.
Hey, Steve Barber, right? Thanks for joining us.
Let's make sure we on point, right? Because we all together. You know what I'm saying? I might not like you, and I might not respect you, right? But at the same time, though, man, listen, we got to coexist with each other. So I depend on you. Right, so man, let's go ahead and get it right. Let's get tight.
Before you go,
what's up?
Tell them balance the water credits.
Oh yeah,
zero balance.
Is that what the bill you paid?
Listen. I got 10 tents. I got 10 tents. I need 40 more tents. I need 4 people. Mercy. I need 4 people. No, seriously, because these people don't hear me.
What you got 10? I mean, what you got?
I'm trying to, what we want to do. See, the council meeting started at 4:30, so we meeting at 4.
We back at the building now? I can't.
No, we on it. They don't want that.
No, they ain't doing
that. They don't want that.
Well, we need to push for that. We need to see them.
It's a reason why they're the only one in the world that meets like this.
No, we need to see them.
Yeah, there's a reason
There should be a push from the community. Let's make sure that we get back in the chambers. Listen, because I want to look at all 9 of y'all.
At the very least, do Zoom. At the very least, do Zoom.
Yeah, they should be able to do
At the very least,
Listen. Them doors, open them doors up. Man, we did Zoom. And then y'all cutting people off the phone. People can't even. None of that. You got time for that Zoom. Listen, let's get back in the chamber. Let's get to the table. Let's work together. Let's hash it out. Whether we need to look at each other all crazy, whether we need to come to the table and say, all right, let's make amends. Let's go ahead and do it. We can't just sit up here and stand and let this go the way that's been going anymore, right? Because there's going to be some exposures. So let's go ahead and make sure we doing what's necessary and operating out of pure altruism.
And we can reverse some of that negative $17 million by putting money into the I got it right here on my phone, but I'm not going to
stop putting those special meetings in during city council days, right? Because we that confuses us. Right? We got to choose between one thing.
You have one today.
I ain't talking about today. I'm saying you've been doing it. But listen, man, let's make sure we look at the schedule so everybody can participate.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So because we all want to be involved, even this war by war stuff you got going on. Listen, we gonna pop up, right? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's my ward or Rich ward. Mitch Ward, Steve Ward, Shatar Ward, we want to be there because we all see this as a
make me a ward. Let me be the 10th ward.
Make me a ward. RM got that. You got to be the 10th ward.
Beat you the 10th ward. So Beecher is the 10th ward. Like how they say.
Yeah.
All my Beecher friends, I need y'all because I ain't getting too much love in this city. It's go time now, baby. Let's go get it. Let's go red and white.
Rich, I gotta give Rich a shout out.
I'll run it.
being on the ground and writing cases is so tough. It's very difficult to do. But I do commend you for getting out there and always being dedicated. If it's anybody, I always say, man, Rich out there working. And like, you know what I'm saying, regardless of whatever people talking about, I'm saying that brother out there working. I would take somebody who out there willing to roll their sleeves up, get to work, over somebody who's sitting in that chair ain't doing a dang thing. Right? Any day. You know what I'm saying? We want to bump off at the gums and we're gonna just throw things off the handle and just say stuff just to be saying stuff. No, we ain't got time for that. We really need real people ready to do the work. Right? So man.
Yeah, I really can spend that whole 47.5 if I wanted to.
Me too.
I just choose to ask for 20. I just choose to ask for 11 now and 11 next year. And for you people out there with those very bad attitudes that I pay my water bill, they should pay their water bills.
Let's be real.
$3.5 million in water credits for y'all.
Listen. And yeah.
I give y'all credit for paying y'all water bill. I'm not gonna knock y'all. But don't knock those who didn't pay their water bill.
You shouldn't be paying for something that you can't use, and I agree with that. So I'm
serious.
But I do understand the fact that you paying the bill, right? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you want to make sure that, hey, listen, you ain't the only one paying the bill, right? I get that boy too, right? So there's some understanding, and we want to meet in the middle, right? Because I ain't paying my bill every month, and I pay it, but I ain't paid it every month. At the same time, though, right? You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, we got to do diligence of making sure that, you know, we do our part.
But why couldn't that be a thing where you zero balance them, but you repay them people that paid their bill?
And what I just said, $3.5 million in water credit for those that kept up with their bill.
But what's wrong with getting the city out of debt? Getting the water bills caught up?
Well, nothing's wrong with it. And honestly, when it first happened, when I first got news of the money, and I had to go and fight and get a copy of the category that you could put it under. But before all of that, I was common sense.
Yeah.
You got the money because of the pandemic. The governor told you could not turn nobody's water off. Take the money and pay their water bill.
Yeah.
It's that, and they got all kinds. One councilman asked me,
Rich, don't give it all today. You got the thing going on this Saturday. We're gonna.
Oh yeah, big thing. Appreciate you. Community conversation. You gonna be on live?
Yep.
Community conversation this Saturday will be taking place. So if you want to
right
come
here
down
at 10 a.m.
2712 North Saginaw, we really want to just kind of have conversation, town hall. This ain't a beating up conversation. This is really looking at how we find resolutions. So we have a few action items that we like to discuss, see what the community like to do, and then we act on those things. We take one thing at a time. It's like eating an elephant one bite at a time. And that's the type of role that we like to play. So come on out, 10 o'clock this Saturday, community conversation. We'll be talking, Brother Rich, Brother Mick, Brother Steve, Brother Anthony, Sister Tara, you know, Brother Roberts is sending big blessings, peace and blessings to Brother Roberts.
And we're looking for a live audience too.
He's out right now. He's taking a breather. He's getting himself together. He'll be back soon.
Well need a rest.
So
right?
who's gonna narrate it Saturday then?
You guys, right? We got a funeral taking place. So my cousin's funeral. I definitely want to send a special shout out to the family, Crowder family, for Tavion Crowder. We got his funeral going on this Friday. That was a 15-year-old young man that was lost at Pasadena Martin Luther King. He was an inspiring rapper, but man, he just was a beautiful spirit. And so this is why we say we got to do something for these young boys now, because I can't take no more. We losing people left and right. You know what I'm saying? I lost my other cousin in Ann Arbor, so it's a funeral on Saturday. That's why I won't be at the community conversation, but you know, I'll be there in spirit. But one way or another, we really want to keep everybody that we have, because you know, I cherish each other, you know, and I want to do more. When I see y'all out here, I want to shake you down. The ladies want to give you a hug, let you know I appreciate you. I want to be more engaged with you, right? Because you never know, you know, how long you got. So you always want to make sure you cherish the time.
Yeah. I wanna say something about that crowd when Tay got killed, because I seen a bunch of hurt, good people out there. I didn't see a bunch of, I want revenge. I got it. I seen a little, but I didn't see. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want to bring out it's way more good youth in the city of Flint than we're giving credit to. We're always talking about the ones that slipped away or the ones that got caught up. We got to, but this is also to you, youth. Y'all gotta check each other. Y'all gotta be willing to leave y'all guns at home, and then y'all can go out in the street and get into an argument with somebody, and both of y'all can go home safe. The problem of it is too many weapons. I mean, there's some of y'all that don't fight nobody, don't have no beef with nobody, but as soon as somebody have a little disagreement in you, you finna shoot.
You so quick to shoot.
You leave your guns at home.
And just always remember, listen, when you die, that's it.
That's it.
There's nothing else, right? I'd rather die for the cause. And I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
I'd rather stand for something rather than die for anything.
Right.
I ain't dying just for the hell of it. At the same time, you know what I'm saying? I'm down the front line for you any day. So make sure that we out here.
Control yourself.
Right? Don't
control yourself.
Because one day, you know, that could be that, right? And don't lose your life over something that doesn't really matter. I think.
Don't lose your life over something that could be solved simply by having a conversation.
And squash the beef. End it where it's at now, please. End it where it's at. I understand the agony, the hurt, the pain. I really do. Right. But the forgiveness got to start somewhere. Why not you?
So I love you, Mike, and my cousin Michael Crowder, man. I gotta give Steve, you know what I'm saying? We gotta give Cuz a shout out, man. That brother is a strong brother, man. He's good dude too. He do a lot for phenomenal brother, man. They're doing great things for the community. He was doing that just to keep his son safe. He bought that building over there, renovated it, built it up, made sure that he had a space to come to. And you know, that man, you know what I'm saying, that's a strong brother, and I gotta give it to him because you know, losing a child is something that I can't say that I went through. A
grandchild,
and
a friend, a cousin, a nephew.
No, but a child is something different. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? That's like your heart, right? So I couldn't even tell him, man, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? I know what you're talking about, I know what you're going through. You ain't even come with that nonsense. Now you did the best we can do for you. All you can do, cuz, is just, you know what I'm saying, pray for you, you know what I'm saying? And we always here,
and just be available and be available if you need them.
Whatever you need, you always, you know, you can call, come up, whatever. We're gonna be pulling up, because we pulling up here soon. We just want to be there for you. And Tamara, his mom, is our cousin too. That was her baby. So I think, you know what I'm saying, that really hurt. You know, and I was messed up all week about that. I'm still messed up, man. And we still trying to, you know, comb through the pieces. But like you said, Rich, it ain't like that thing like we mad.
Yeah.
We mad as hell. Absolutely. Right? But the thing is, I think, you know, we trying to turn this situation into a positive one, and it's taking a lot out of us to do it. So
man, like I said, I know. And I done lost a lot. I'm like real talk, like I'm in a crowded room and I'm lonely. That's how much I have lost.
Right.
So, and I really, man, look.
Hold that thought to side.
I'm losing 15-year-old kids in the street, man.
Well, we're gonna be able to get with that's what the community conversation thing would be for Saturday.
All right.
To reach out.
Man,
so
listen, man. We need y'all young people. We want y'all. We it's not a thing that, you know what I'm saying, like we haven't built a relationship with them. And so some of that is our fault on the way that they out here doing what they're doing. So what we need to do is just really love on them. When you see them out there in the streets, don't be scared to walk up on them and talk to them and tell them something positive. Don't be scared to put your arm around them. You know, I was kicking with some young boys in Walmart today, right? You know, and just telling them, like, you know, how valuable they are. You know what I'm saying? And putting big price tags on their life and telling them, like, you know, we depend on y'all because y'all the ones gonna be taking care of us when we get older. So we need y'all to be in line. We need y'all to be, working. We need y'all to pay Social Security. We need y'all to be on point. We really need that for y'all.
I'm gonna say this to these young kids, and I'm just saying this as a mother. Like, it is scary enough to have you going out in the world, just to be going out in the world because you're young and you black and you was born with a target on your head already. So it's already scary for us to have you going out in the world. When you start driving, and doing all those things, we already afraid because we don't want you getting stopped by the police and some crazy shit happen. So we nervous all the time, right? Even though we might not say it or we might not want to show that we that kind of nervous, but we are. And me, because I love black people and I love the children. I am such a big advocate for kids. They can tell you that all the time. I'm always advocating for kids and I'm always talking about the kids. But let me say something else is that I love you black men so much. And we need y'all. And we need y'all to continue to reach out to them. And we need you all to love on these kids, man. We need y'all to grow the fuck up and raise these kids, man. Mm-hmm. Even if they're not your children. Listen, because we nervous. DeWanda call me and we'll be talking and he say, I gotta go out and I gotta do this. I'll be nervous for him. And I'll be nervous for him because I love him, right? And I'll be nervous for Rich because I love him, right? And I'll be nervous for all of them, but even more so for these kids. And I'll be more nervous because y'all not scared of shit. And that scares me because y'all not scared of nothing. And you need to be not scared and so timid that you don't go out, but scared enough so that you think. And you think on a whole different level that's going to save your life. That's all I need from you. I don't care if you never go to college. I don't care if you never do any of those things, but I just want you to think. And I want you to be able to think for yourself. And I want you to be able to think on a higher level that's going to keep you here. Because I console too many mamas. I console too many sisters. I console too many grandmas. And that hurts me. And I'm an empath. I'm empathetic. So I feel it. And I feel it like it happened to me. And that just do something to me. Right. And I tell them this all the time. I done told them this like so many times. I tell them that all the time. We here. I'm here. I got your back. And look, listen. And can't nobody say like, listen. Drawing a fish, kill a stick about them, right? But that's how I feel about everybody that I love. And even these kids that's not my kids, man. I love all of them and I want to continue to see y'all out here. I want to help you. If you telling me that you need me to come to your game, I'm going to come to your game. If you telling me I just need you to come, hey, come to parents' night because my mama not going to be there or she can't. Listen, I'll come. I'm available and I'm asking you and I'm saying this to you, but I need y'all to do something for me too. I need you to do this for me. I need you to think on a higher plane. I need you to think when you're going out there. You can't go out there and just be like, they pulling you over and you just fuck the police. You can't do that. Cause they out here on a kill mission. They don't care nothing about none of that, but I do. And I need y'all to do that. And again, men, please just grow up. Grow up. You done with all of that. It's their time now. And what we need to be doing, we need to be nourishing these children. And we need to be showing them this way. We need to be telling them and being transparent about our fuck ups so that they don't do the same thing.
Right.
We gotta do better.
And then we gotta protect our young sisters too. We gotta make sure that we always gotta make sure we be loving on our young men. Our young brothers, our young boys, right? Because those are adults in training, right? We got love on our young sisters. We love y'all young sisters, all the young ones. We be super proud of y'all doing what y'all doing. The ones that are in those lines and being educated and, looking at how they're going to be successful and how they represent for their family. We want to make sure we got to be out here protecting them. So even those young boys out there, we need y'all to be out here protecting these young women. Don't be fighting with them. Don't be sitting up there looking at them as objects. These are young queens. And so you got to be able to protect them in this kingdom that we living in. And that's just something that we need y'all to be in the mindset of thinking like that. So, and that's our role as as, you know, the big brothers and, you know, to be able to set the tone. So we have to treat our women right, and we have to respect our women. We have to showcase and exemplify what true leadership is. So, you know, we want to see that. Hopefully, you know, this conversation wasn't in vain, right? And, you know, we really act on this, and something can really spark some action. So that's where we are. So if there's anything else, you know, any other announcements we got, any other announcements we got going on, we got, like we said, the community conversation coming up. We got a series of block parties coming up, right? We'll be releasing those dates.
What about the one Sister Muhammad got one coming up this Sunday?
Yes, sir.
The second ward.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll be getting those information out for the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. Anybody interested in having a real conversation with Black Lives Matter, Fli-City Blackout, and you really want to find some solutions and resolutions, we always willing to come to the table. Sheldon, Neely, you know, you want to sit down, you know, we can have a conversation,
open.
you know,
Come
and say,
see
like,
us.
man, listen, you know, we got some real ideas, some real plans. Or want to go ahead and do something right for the city this time. Yeah, we want to hear you say that. We want to hear you do it. We really want you to work. So, you know, we open it up for you. And anybody else, man, even if, you know, my adversary is the ops, right? I think any problem that we got going on, we might bring Maurice Davis in, man, because we need to have a full-fledged conversation about what happened last year or this past year.
And about his bid for mayor.
Who?
Maurice Davis is running for mayor.
He said he's running for mayor.
Maurice, listen, man.
No, we gonna end the show on that, bro. We gonna end the show.